By the end of this video, you'll have met the Greek alphabet and discovered several tips on how to make it easier to learn. Hi, Rob McIver here. Let's talk about the Greek alphabet. There are several things going for us as we learn the Greek alphabet, mainly because the alphabet itself was invented exactly once. So this means that the principles behind the Greek alphabet and the English alphabet are the same. And in fact, there are further similarities between the two. Take, for example, the order in which the letters are found. English goes A, B, C, D, E, etc. Greek goes alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, etc. Now, you'll have noticed that the sounds go A, B, D, and I in the same order. The exception is the Greek letter gamma, which represents a G sound. But most of the letters in the English alphabet and the Greek alphabet are recognizably in the same order, which makes it easier to learn to write them out if you know the order of the English letters. Another similarity is that just in English, the name of a Greek letter begins with a sound that letter represents. Consequently, learning the names of the Greek letters is an important start to understanding the Greek alphabet. Here are the lowercase Greek letters and their names, and I'm going to read the names out to you and leave a little pause. Might I suggest that during that pause that you repeat back the name of the letter? After all, the best way to learn something new is to invoke as many of your senses as possible. And in learning languages, this means that you say things out loud as well as just read them. After all, languages were spoken for a long time before they were written down. A language is designed to be heard, not necessarily seen. So saying the name of the letter is an important step. So here goes. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron or omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon or upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. Now let's look at some of these letters more closely. You will see that the letter sigma has got a regular form and a final form. Take, for example, the word staso, which uses a sigma as the first letter and as the fourth letter. It's the regular sigma in both cases. The word cosmos, which means, as you might expect, world or cosmos, uses a regular sigma in the third letter, but uses the final sigma on the last letter. Now, like English, Greek distinguishes between consonants and vowels. The English vowels are A, E, I, O, and U, 5. The Greek has 7 vowels. And this is because Greek has separate vowel letters for a short E sound and a long E sound, and a short O sound and a long O sound. This table here shows that the short E sound is an epsilon, and the long E sound is an eta. It also shows the short O sound is an omicron, and the long O sound is an omega. So there are 7 Greek vowels: alpha, epsilon, eta, iota, omicron, upsilon, omega. Iota can be written underneath another vowel and is then called an iota subscript. We have some examples here. Here is an alpha with an iota subscript, an eta with an iota subscript, and omega with a iota subscript. And the Iota subscript is found in the word sozo, which means heal or save. You only need to know that such a thing exists at this stage. Now let's consider the uppercase letters. As with English, Greek uses an uppercase letter at the beginning of the names of people, the names of places, the beginning of quoted speech, and the beginning of a paragraph. Unlike English, which uses a capital letter at the beginning of every sentence, Greek need not begin a sentence with a capital letter. And that tiny difference has the effect that Greek capital letters don't seem to be used as often as they are in English. Most of the Greek capital letters look pretty much as you might expect. For example, alpha represents an A sound, and the capital alpha looks very much like the English capital A. Beta, representing a B sound, looks very much like an English capital B. And so on for epsilon, looks like an English capital E. Kappa looks like an English capital K. Mu, Nu, Omicron, and Tau. So those letters look easy to learn, don't they? It's not unlikely you will recognize some of the others that don't look like English capital letters. For example, Omega is the name of a watch brand, and you find the big Omega sign on many of their advertisements. And furthermore, the capitals of the letters delta, theta, psi, and phi may be familiar to you. There are some gotchas though. Probably the biggest one is the character representing a capital rho, an R sound. And you're going to look at that and say, no, that doesn't look like an R. That looks like a, well, it's a capital rho. Capital Eta is also a potential gotcha, as it looks like a capital H in English, doesn't it? And it represents a long E sound, not a H sound, which is represented by a rough breathing, which we will get to in a future video. Upsilon, capital Upsilon, may also be a mild gotcha, but that one actually kind of makes sense in some circumstances. So that one you'll quickly get used to. Now, I have noticed from my own students that if they thoroughly learn the lowercase letters, they don't have to put very much effort into recognizing the uppercase letters when they come to them. So when we come to tips for making learning the Greek alphabet easier, that's the first one. Start by concentrating on learning to write out the lowercase Greek letters. Don't worry so much about the uppercase Greek letters, as you will meet them often enough for them to become familiar as you are working through exercises. A second tip in learning the Greek alphabet, and this is a pretty straightforward one, is learn to write the Greek alphabet by hand. And once you can do that, learn to write them out in their proper order. Now, when you do that the first time, you will probably get some of the letters, but not all of the letters. But if you cover up the original, write out what you remember, then check, then write it out again, then check, then write it out again, you will quickly learn the Greek alphabet and in the order in which it should be known. And then you need to rehearse this, maybe every day for a while, and then every second day, then once a week. But you will quickly have the Greek alphabet in your head, because if you're doing any work with Greek, you'll be using the alphabet a lot. Now, an important tip in making learning the alphabet easier is to use the alphabet in exercises. And here, I'd like to recommend my book, Beginning New Testament Greek Made Easier, which has an exercise that you might find helpful on this and other topics as we work through the different stages of learning Greek. By the way, that's an excellent book when we talk about making Greek easier to learn. It breaks things down into small, easily digested segments and gives you plenty of practice of each one. There's details on how to order the book in the description below. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Robert, this is a fine list of things I can do to make learning the Greek alphabet easier, but you haven't shown me how to write the Greek alphabet by hand. And yes, that's true. I have a separate video on that. And I have a separate video on transliteration, as well as a further exercise on transliteration. And look, if you're like my students, by the time you've done that exercise, you've just mastered the Greek alphabet. Look for the links for those videos in the description. And might I recommend the videos for the next step, which is not just writing the Greek alphabet by hand, but typing the Greek alphabet using the Greek polytonic keyboard. I have a whole chapter in my book on installing and using the Greek polytonic keyboard. And some of my most watched videos are on how to install the Greek polytonic keyboard. And the real winner on the most watched videos is a video where I explain how to add breathing marks and accents using a Greek polytonic keyboard. You can most easily find these videos by either subscribing to my YouTube channel at NT Greek Made Easier, or by following me on x.com at robmciver2024. These videos follow Chapter 1 of my book, Beginning New Testament Greek Made Easier. Let's just say if you watch these two further videos and you do the exercise in Chapter 1 in the book, you will have no trouble writing Greek letters by hand, and you'll have made significant progress in learning how to pronounce Greek words found in the New Testament. And hey, if you found this video useful, why not let me know by either clicking on the like button below or by clicking on the heart icon. Thank you.